Kajor ma jatend piny Kenya William Ruto loso gisani wadani wawinjane kaka twak makamano dhi meka to studio.
Delivered in reality. That conviction gave rise to the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The belief that our nationhood remains incomplete so long as millions are excluded from economic opportunity. Over the past 3 years, we have laid a stronger foundation for our country, restoring macroeconomic stability, revitalizing agriculture, expanding healthcare, stabilizing education, advancing affordable housing while creating jobs, increasing our savings, deepening financial inclusion, and opening new opportunities for our young people. Today, Kenya stands on firmer ground, but the next stage of our journey demands more skill, more investment, more infrastructure, and above all, a new way to finance our development. The National Infrastructure Fund is a commitment we made to the Kenyan people in our manifesto. Today, we fulfill that promise. But why did we propose the National Infrastructure Fund in the first place? Because of the scale of the challenge before us, there is need for a new approach. Multilateral development institutions estimate that Africa faces an infrastructure financing gap of up to $80 billion every year. That is, the continent requires about between 130 and 170 billion dollars, for infrastructure development every year. Kenya and our infrastructure needs reflects that very reality. Every meeting, in every part of Kenya, the conversation is about this road and the other road. Electricity connection to this village and to that town. Connectivity in different parts of the country. And access to agricultural infrastructure for food security. Every meeting in every part of Kenya speaks to those issues. The World Bank has estimated that our country requires approximately $4 billion each year to meet its infrastructure needs. A decade ago, Africa, Kenya included, believed it had found a once-in-a-generation opportunity to accelerate infrastructure development. Global interest rates were historically low following the global financial crisis. The China's Belt and Road Initiative opened new sources of infrastructure financing. But we did not fully anticipate the risks of relying so heavily on sovereign debt. And certainly, none of us could have foreseen the shocks that would soon follow: the COVID-19 pandemic and the global economic and financial turbulence that came in its wake. It was against this backdrop that my team and I began to ask ourselves a necessary question before the last election. We spent a lot of time a year before the last election, and we asked ourselves, how would Kenya continue investing in the infrastructure required for our development, while at the same time stabilizing our economy, responding to all the other challenges that come with it, and navigating the aftershocks of pandemics? We knew that a period of fiscal discipline would be unavoidable, but we also knew that halting development was not an option. I remember this very clearly when I sat with David Ndii, who I'm sure is in our midst here, and Hassan, who is here, discussing how we are going to do things differently. That was 1 year before the last election. And we sat under a tree and we were discussing. You know, they are much more knowledgeable than me in those matters. They schooled me in some of the items. But as Mbadi said, I am also a fast learner. That is where the idea of the National Infrastructure Fund was born. I couldn't put it much more clearly and succinctly than it is stated in our manifesto. And I want to quote for you. This is a manifesto written 4 years ago. An infrastructure fund, I quote, will be established with initial capitalization from privatization proceeds, with a view to progressively reducing financing of commercially viable infrastructure projects from the budget, end of quote. Today, we are doing exactly that. The National Infrastructure Fund is here, and tomorrow in the morning at 8, I will be at the NSC to ring the bell to complete the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline IPO and raise 106 billion Kenya shillings that will be the seed money for the National Infrastructure Fund. It looks too exact to be real, but that is what it is. We would have moved earlier, but as many of you know, our privatization initiatives encountered some headwinds. Around the same time, we sought to expand, for example, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport through a public-private partnership. That proposal also met very strong resistance. Today, I am pleased to announce that the expansion of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport will be the first major project financed through this new model of financing under the National Infrastructure Fund. Just so that you know, and again, it looks too exact to be real, we just announced the contract for the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Between 15 and 20 billion shillings from the National Infrastructure Fund, from the proceeds of the Kenya Pipeline IPO, will go to financing the seed money for the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. We will put in our 15 or 20 billion, pension funds, insurance companies, other collectives. You have the opportunity to invest. We are not talking about next year. We are not talking about in August. The opportunity to work with us in the National Infrastructure Fund is as soon as next month. So the opportunities you have been looking for to invest in commercially viable public infrastructure projects is right here. And our skin as government will be the first one in the game. You will come, and then others will come. As Kili said, this is one of the things they told me when I first appeared at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. It's taken a bit of time, Mr. Kili, but now we are here. See you in the game. The potential for domestic capital is immense. You just heard the numbers. we have 2.81 trillion of Kenyan money that is available from our pensions and our other collectives. This is money, patient money, that can be used for our national development. Pension money is for pensioners, but pensioners have children. We've been told here by my good friend, the CEO of Africa Finance Corporation, we must use pensions to create jobs for the children of those whose pensions we are managing. That's what he told us. You know, that money must work for the pensioners. It must work for their children. And we now have the structure. We now have the plan to make sure that we channel those resources in the right direction. Make sure that it